Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Janavallabha Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tiravanachari. Yamuna Tiravanachari. Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. जय श्री श्री राधा वृंदावन चंद्र की, श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की, श्री श्री गौर निताय की, श्रीनिवास वेंकटेश्वर बालाजी की, समवेत भक्त वृंद की, कलयुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, मंत्रा श्रीमद्भागवतम की। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयं उदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Welcome all of you for our Wednesday morning Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani sessions. Today we are doing on this one. This is the topic for today. How does one develop attraction to Krishna like the Gopis and Gopas? So even before we enter into this topic, I want to recite a few verses from the second chapter of Madhya Lila about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. आपने करी आस्वादने शिकाइल भक्त गणे प्रेम चिंता मणिर प्रभु धनी नहीं जाने स्थान स्थान यारे तारे कैल दान Mahaprabhu Data Shiromani. Meaning of these verses is like this. By personally tasting Krishna Prema, Lord Chaitanya taught his disciples the process. He is a wealthy capitalist, possessing the touchstone of love of God. That is the type of capitalist he is. So he is carrying Chintamani of the Krishna Prema, which he is distributing. So how does he distribute? Nahi jane sthana sthana yare tare kaila dana Mahaprabhu Data Shiromani. Not considering proper or improper place or recipient, he gives his treasure to anyone and everyone and yet remains the same. Thus, he is the most beneficent. So why is Lord Chaitanya called as Mahavadanyaya? Because 500 years ago, he gave love of God to Jagai and Madai. You can see that. And he gave love of God to Patan Vaishnavas. Patan people are actually soldiers. So he gave them also love of God. So in fact, he gave love of God when he went to Alalnath to children and old women and men who all ecstatically joined the chanting and dancing without any discrimination. In order for us to know how this kind of love of God, Lord Chaitanya, inundated, not only 500 years ago, even just 50 years ago, Srila Prabhupada gave love of God to the hippies. So Prabhupada gave the highest thing to the most degraded members of the society at that time. So like that it is mentioned here, Lord Chaitanya's munificence. Ye gupta bhava sindhu brahmanapa eka bindu hena dhana vilaila samsare aiche dayalu avatar aiche data nahi ar guna keh nare varni vare. Like the Kaviraj Goswami says. He says, E Gupta Bhava Sindhu. He's saying, he's saying that not even Brahma can ascertain or even taste a drop of this confidential ocean of ecstasy. But Lord Chaitanya, out of his castest mercy, has distributed this love of God all over the world. E Gupta Bhava Sindhu means it's very confidential love of God. Even Brahma cannot assimilate it. But that he is distributing very liberally. Aiche dayalu avatar, aiche data nahi ar guna keha nari varni vare. There cannot be any incarnation more munificent than him. There is no greater donor, he's saying. Who can describe his transcendental qualities? He's saying. So, and then he's saying here, kahi bara kata nahe kaila keha na bujaye aiche chitra chaitanya ranga. Such topics are not to be discussed freely because no one will understand them. Such are the wonderful pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Sei se bujite pare Chaitanya kripa yare hayatara dasanudas sangha. And to one who is able to understand, he showed mercy by giving him the association of the servant of his own servant. You say. So, you will see in this series of verses how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the bhakti of those who have perfected their life, the ultimate ranks, they achieve this. But how is it given to us? Therefore, I read this, this age, we call it as a golden avatar for the iron age, we call it. Even in iron age, Lord comes as a golden avatar and he is giving us entry into these pastimes. Although these are not discussed time, Chirat, it is said, for a long period of time in this world, such leelas like the Braja Bhakti was not discussed. But Madhavendra Puri, and following him Ishwara Puri and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and recently Srila Prabhupada, they are distributing it. So, although we are not qualified for entering into this, by their mercy, we will be able to comprehend it to some degree. So, the 12th chapter, the last two, D and E, the transition to spontaneous devotion and Lord Chaitanya and spontaneous devotion, these two we will complete today. Please read who is Mansur. Yeah.
Radha is the most benevolent, tender-hearted feminine counterpart of Sri Krishna, and non-different from him. She is so great that if anyone renders even a meager service to Lord Krishna, she considers that person a greater devotee than herself, although no one can excel her in serving Krishna.
Yeah. So in Madhya Lila, second chapter, I'll just show you that. If you want to know about the mood of Radharani, that is there in the second chapter of Madhya Lila. Yeah. If you see from here, Lord Chaitanya has feeling of separation in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So these are explained, the pain of separation. So here only the titles are given, they are all elaborated. Yeah. The first verse talks about the pain of separation. Second verse talks about the perfection of the senses. The third one talks about the desire to see Krishna. And pure Krishna Prema in this world. And nature of Krishna Prema. All these things are explained in this chapter. So, one or two verses I'll read from there. Actually, some lakshanas of this devotion of Radharani is explained here. Na prema gandhosti dharapi mehara. I have not the slightest tinge of love of Godhead within my heart. I have not even seen the beautiful face of Krishna playing his flute, but still I continue to live my life like an insect without purpose. Like that Radharani feels. Krishna prema sunirmala yena shuddha ganga jala seyi prema amritera sindhu. Krishna prema is very pure, like the Ganges water, an ocean of nectar. Nirmala se anurage nalukaye anyadage. Shukla Vastre Yaiche Masti Bindu, that pure attachment to Krishna does not conceal any spot like an ink spot on a white cloth. That means actually the Krishna Prema is the highest thing to be attained. It is as pure as Ganga. So each of these headings, actually here the note is not there in this, otherwise I would have shown you. From the first to ninth verse, it gradually increases, you will see. For example, the pain of separation, first verse. Second verse talks about perfection of senses. Third verse talks about desire to see Krishna. And then pure Krishna Prema in this world, nature of Krishna Prema. Desperation to see Krishna. And then experiencing the presence of Krishna. So this, if you read this second chapter of Madhya Lila, Ecstasies of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it gives a clue about the devotion of Srimati Radharani. So why is this important for us? Because the central theme of the spiritual world is the divine couple, Sri Radha and Krishna. And surrounding them are the Paramapreshta Sakhis. And then there are Prana Sakhis, Nitya Sakhis. All these Sakhis engage in varieties of services. So you will see that all the wonderful activities that you see in this world, like made up of 64 colors, they all come from the spiritual world. They originate from the spiritual world, Srimati Radharani. So I saw one of the devotees was playing Mridangam so beautifully today morning. I think in Tulsi Arati, one devotee was playing. Immediately I was remembering, in spiritual world, the gopis are the ones who play Mridanga, spiritual world. Like you see here. So they play Mridanga, they play Kartal, they play instruments, they sing very sweetly, they play Veena. So they give greatest joy to the divine couple. by rendering services. They make very nice syrups, juices. They make betel nuts, and they make nice preparations to offer to the divine couple. They make all kinds of beautiful, attractive dresses, matching dresses. They make best of the finest of the ornaments. They arrange festivals. They arrange various opportunities for the divine couple, like boating. So the spiritual world is filled with plans for doing service for the divine couple and engaging in the services to give pleasure to the divine couple. And topmost queen of the spiritual world is Srimati Radharani. So it is said here, as you see here, Lord Chaitanya, he always experienced deep loving emotions for Krishna, the same mood of Srimati Radharani. You see two pictures. One, the first picture you see flowers along with other gopis to make a garland for Radha Krishna. And on the right side picture you see that is Krishna leaving for Mathura, taken by Akrura. And all the gopis are fainting, unconscious. And Mahaprabhu also broke down to tears. You know who are the two people with Mahaprabhu? That is Ramananda Rai and Sarvada Damodar, yeah. Shri Shri Radha Ramachandra ki jai. See here what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says here. The gopis are purely engaged in the service of the Lord without any motive. They are not captivated by the opulence of Krishna, nor by understanding that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The gopis are not attracted to Krishna because he is Supreme Lord, nor are they attracted to benefits or some motives that he can provide them. Krishna was not attracted by the opulence of or the personal beauty of the gopis. See, this is the most important thing. Neither is gopis attracted to Krishna for his opulence, nor is Krishna attracted to the gopis for their beauty or opulence. Like Krishna is attracted to Kubja. What is the attraction? Is she very beautiful? But he is attracted to her service attitude. Seva Bhav. That's the only thing he is attracted by. Prabhu, read the one below. Next para. Lord Krishna is?
Lord Krishna is inconceivably powerful. To understand him, great yogis and
see, this is actually directly taken from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's comment here. Yes.
To understand him, great yogis and saintly persons give up all material engagements and meditate upon him. The gopis are not interested in dry speculation in the arts, in music, or other conditions of material life. They are bereft of all understanding of material enjoyment and renunciation. Their only desire is to see Krishna return and enjoy spiritual, transcendental pastimes with them. The gopis want him simply to stay in Vrindavan so that they can render service unto him for his pleasure. There is not even a tinge of personal sense gratification.
Yeah. So very beautifully Bhaktivinoda Thakur puts it. You see, generally in this world, people appreciate those who renounce the world. Correct, no? But you will see in Prabhupada's books, he has made it very clear. Bhoga and Tyaga both are condemned in the Vaishnava path. If something could be engaged in Krishna's service, one shouldn't renounce it. If one renounces it, it is called what Vairagya? Palga Vairagya. If something could be engaged in Krishna's service, you engage in Krishna's service, that is called Vikta Vairagya. So the gopis are neither interested in music or dancing or singing or putting rangoli. That is not their interest. Their interest is they are doing it for whose pleasure? For Krishna's pleasure. Otherwise, nothing of this world makes any sense to them. Similarly, giving up everything and experiencing the joy of renunciation, like the jnanis do, Kaupinavanta, Kalubhagyavanta, Vedanta Vakyeshu Sadaramanta. So they think just wear a kaupin and sit in the forest enjoying the renunciation, that also they don't want to do. They have no attraction for that. Their only attraction is they want to stay in Vrindavan, render service to Krishna. For whose pleasure? Krishna's pleasure. Sometimes even we also like when we go to Lonavala and other places, we think that, such a beautiful greenery, such nice waterfalls, such nice lakes or rivers, cuckoos are cooing. We may like the sattvic atmosphere, but gopis are not in Vrindavan for that also. They only like Vrindavan because Krishna's footprints are in Vrindavan. That's most important. So the central theme of the life of Vrijabhas is Krishna's pleasure. So in the Nectar of Devotion, in the beginning of chapter 15, Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti is explained. If you see below, Prabhu, read that one, prerequisite.
Prerequisite or eligibility for spontaneous devotion in practice. The basic qualification for spontaneous devotion in practice is a very strong desire to serve Lord Krishna in a specific relationship.
This is the most important thing. The very strong desire to serve Krishna in a specific relationship means in the mood of a servant or a friend or a parent or lover. There is specific relationship, yeah?
One can obtain this desire by hearing how eternal residents of Vrindavan spontaneously serve Krishna in various loving moods.
Yeah. So I will show you in this one. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is speaking to Rupa Goswami in the 19th chapter. You can see here, see this one. Each rati includes this little small, no? Yeah. Okay, I'll make it a little bigger. You can see like this. Shantaras realizes only his own constitutional position. Correct, no? That means I am, he thinks that a person thinks that Aham Brahmasmi. That is the platform of Shantarati, like the 4 Kumaras. And here Dasyaras, that is it.
Understands the full opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and serve Him. Fear.
Yeah. Oh, he's master. And I am his servant. So I should serve him. I should not displease him. So there is a fear. Not to displease, yeah.
Sakhya, qualities of Dasyaras are mixed with the confidence of fraternity instead of awe and veneration.
Yeah.
No affection.
Yeah. Actually, no fear in Sakhya Rasa because there is intimacy. There is a desire to serve, but there is intimacy, yeah.
Vatsalya, affectionate love is intimacy devoid of the formality and veneration.
Yeah. Actually, intimacy is even rendered with more affectionate love, like Yashoda's love for Krishna. Yeah.
Madhurya, relaxed feelings of fraternity and feelings of maintenance all increase in intimacy.
Yeah. So here examples are given here, if you see. Shantaras. Who's an example for Shantaras? Yeah. Navayogendras and 4 Kumaras. And Dasyaras, Raktaka, Chitraka, Patraka, and Daruka. Actually, why two columns are given? Here it is only Kevala Rati, here it is Aishwarya Jnana Mishra Rati here. Yeah. One is in Aishwarya, one is in Praja. Therefore, two columns are given here. So, okay, we'll back to... Yeah. Please.
When does eligibility manifest? This strong desire, technically called lobha, is the singular overwhelming desire in one's heart to please Lord Krishna in a particular way. If any other desire shares the heart's attention, one does not fully possess lobha. Therefore, one does not attain lobha until he has removed the unwanted material desires from the heart. Generally, this means one must be past the stage of anartha nivritti.
Yeah, that means nishtha, correct, no? Yeah, please read that.
When does eligibility manifest?
Prabhupada says in NOD, yeah, yes.
We must always remember, however, that such eagerness to follow in the footsteps of denizens of Vraja, Vrindavan, is not possible unless one is freed from material contamination. In following the regulative principles of devotional service, there is a stage called anartha nivritti, which means the disappearance of all material contamination.
Which means, in every step, we should be very enthusiastic to perform that step very enthusiastically. For example, when we are initially having a little Shraddha, with that we come to Sadhu Sangha, isn't it? So, then one should do the Sadhu Sangha with great enthusiasm. If one is slack in Sadhu Sangha, then one cannot go to the stage of Bhajana Kriya. So, there is one verse in the 11th canto of Bhagavatam which says, Sve sve adhikare yanishta sasthiti parikirtita. There is one verse which says that in whichever stage you are in, there is piety and impiety in that stage. For example, if you come to 16 rounds, eating onion garlic food may be considered impiety. If somebody is standing 2 or 4 rounds, he may be eating onion garlic, that is not considered impiety for him. So, at every stage, there are certain advancement expected. So, in the Sadhu Sangha stage, one should be very enthusiastic for Sadhu Sangha. Then one comes to Bhajana Kriya. When you come to Bhajana Kriya is not just only chanting Hare Krishna. If you read earlier, we saw the definition of Bhajana Kriya. Bhajana Kriya includes all forms of devotional service, epitomized by chanting the holy name. So they should be performed very enthusiastically. Somebody says, Prabhu, I am not very enthusiastic because I have not yet crossed the Anarthana Vritti. Somebody says, oh, if you have not crossed the Anarthana Vritti, then you have to be most enthusiastic. Why? Because we have not yet crossed Anarthana Vritti. So we should be doing which one? Okay, if you have not yet come to Anarthana Vritti, what I should be doing? Bhajana Kriya. So Bhajana Kriya, we should put our full heart in that. Correct, no? And then as from Bhajana Kriya happens inoffensively, then we come to Namabha stage, and in Namabha stage only Anarthana Vritti happens. In pre-Namabha stage, there is no cleansing much, not appreciable cleansing. But the real cleansing of the heart happens in Anarthana Vritti stage, in Namabha chanting. So then there one should be very enthusiastic for removing the anartha. Just like it's like going to doctor and showing the boil. Doctor, please kindly cleanse it. Please remove the pus. Or going to doctor and willing to take an injection. So that's Anarthana Vritti. So in each stage we have to be enthusiastic. And then when we cross Anarthana Vritti and come to Nishtha, the Lobha increases to a very great proportion. And that's what Prabhupada says there. And it won't manifest before Anarthana Vritti. Which means it's not that we have no attraction. We have some attraction, but right now our attraction is like very low flame. It is not a very intense flame at the moment. Yeah.
Above the regulations, these Raganuga devotees do not follow the regulated principles of devotional service very strictly, but by spontaneous nature they become attracted to some of the eternal devotees such as Nanda or Yashoda, and they try to follow in their footsteps spontaneously. This does not mean that Raganuga Bhakta neglects the regulated principles. It means that their inspiration to serve and surrender is not dependent on the regulated principles and scriptures, because it comes automatically from their own spontaneous affection for Lord Shri Krishna.
Yeah, this we explained before also. When we are Vaidi Bhaktas, many rules and regulations are laid down by both scriptures and spiritual master. Whereas when one becomes Raganuga Bhakta, then there are no rules and regulations to be applied on the Bhakta, either for chanting the holy name or study of the scriptures or worshipping the deity. Everything is done out of love, not out of regulation. Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada translated the full Bhakti Rasamrita text in CC 22, 155. When advanced realized devotee hears about the affairs of the devotees of Vrindavan in the mellows of Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vasalya and Madhurya, he becomes inclined in one of these ways and his intelligence becomes attracted. Indeed, he begins to covet that particular type of devotion. When such covetousness is awakened, one's intelligence no longer depends on the instructions of Shastra, revealed scriptures, or on logic and argument.
Yeah, Tattat Bhavadi Madhurye Shrute Dhir Yad Apekshate Na Atra Shastram Na Yuktim Cha Tal Lobhotpatti Lakshanam. Which means you don't have to quote any Shastra to logically prove to him that this is what one should be doing. He is attracted to Krishna's devotion in one particular form. Either Yashoda's love for Krishna or Gopis' love for Krishna or the Gopas' love for Krishna. So his heart becomes fixed, his intelligence becomes fixed. And why intelligence becomes fixed, it is said. Then he starts making plans on how I can covet that position of getting an opportunity to serve the Lord. I will do anything that is required to attain. Just like, very simple example. Boys studying in a college, by the time they come to second, third year, they get an idea on which companies are good. Microsoft is good, Infosys is good, this company is good, this company is not good, correct? No? Or which universities abroad are good. So they apply their intelligence in that direction. Oh, I will apply for this university or I'll apply for this company. And they are ready to pay the price by slogging very hard. So somehow or other I will get it, correct? No? Generally, we all use our intelligence, make plans to achieve a desired goal, which we consider as the most worthy goal to be attained, for which we are ready to make the worthy pursuit or worthy endeavors. Same thing in spiritual life also. So, for example, if a devotee is stuck in sense gratification, that means he has not yet got access to higher tastes. Because one has got a higher taste, then the lower taste becomes very feeble. then he starts using his intelligence to apply in that direction. Like for example, once we had gone to a shop in Calcutta. We had to wait. It was actually a program of His Holiness Rahanath Maharaj for the Journey Home book launch, big shop. So as soon as we went there, immediately Gauranga started going to see the books, what books are there in the Shastrik section. He was seeing that, was taking different books and seeing. So he told one devotee, click this verse, shloka from one of the books. You take a click of the verse and later on email me, he was telling. Because his intelligence is Brahminical intelligence, is working in the direction that where are the good verses. So everybody searches for something in life, you agree? According to their gunas, they search. Similarly, a devotee in this particular stage develops attraction for one of the characters of Vrindavan, serving the Lord in a certain particular mood, then the intelligence flows in the direction. I also want to serve. One develops attraction. So there are three practices of spontaneous devotion. One is remembrance, and another one is remembrance through internal external service. Third one is performing activities of sadhana. This I have already explained. I have just summarized here. I will just show you here. One should remember Lord Krishna and his eternal devotees, and either mentally or physically one should take shelter of Vrindavan. So this is the first one. Remembering the Lord, his devotee, and the exchanges between them. That is called as remembrance. And then through internal and external service. Internally, one should meditate in the Siddha form, and externally in the Sadhaka Rupa, one should do all the activities. Like here it says that chanting, how they chanted, how they ate, how they slept, how they preached. So one should see the life of Goswamis, Sadhaka Rupa. See, Goswamis, we told last time in the previous session only, Goswamis has two forms. One is Sadhaka form, one is Siddha form. The Siddha form, Rupa Goswami is Rupa Manjari. And Sadhaka form, Rupa Goswami, Rupa Goswami. Correct, no? So which one we should pay attention to? Both we have to pay attention to. Both. And their Sadhaka Rupa also is not ordinary. That is also transcendental, because they are rendering devotional service in that form. So, and then performing activities of sadhana. Even though one may be in Raganuga Bhakti, you can read this. It's a very important one.
The spontaneous practitioner does not reject the 64 items of Vaidhi sadhana. He continues to practice them, focusing on the practices most conducive to his specific mood of service. Sri Rupa Goswami says that learned acharyas recommend that we follow the regulative principles even after the development of spontaneous love for Krishna. One should specifically engage himself in the type of devotional service for which he has a natural aptitude. In this way, everyone should act according to his particular taste. Example, he does not abandon hearing and chanting, but focuses on hearing and chanting topics that specifically nourishes his particular servicing mood.
Yeah. So three things are there in this development of the spontaneous devotion. One is remembering, second one is remembering internal external activities, and third one is sadhana activities. So the first remembrance is for the ragatmika bhaktas, like in 5 rasas who are serving in the spiritual world. Whereas the remembering the internal and external activities is for those who have been sadhakas and who became siddhas. So we remember both the sadhaka and siddha activity. That is the second one. And third one is our performance of sadhana. We should do all the 64 items and everything. But there is one specific point made here. If one has identified one's particular mood or rasa, in that one emphatically one approaches in that particular direction, he says. So today we are starting this one further. 2 categories of spontaneous devotion service, Kamanuga and Sambandhanuga. Here. So in that it is said there are 2 moods of service in conjugal affection, Sambhoga Icchamayi and Tattad Bhava Ichatmika, which means direct service to Krishna and indirect service to Krishna by assisting the gopis. There are some who don't want to serve Krishna directly, but they want to serve Krishna's servants out of little more reverence is mixed in their relationship. But there are some who directly serve Krishna also. Like for example, there is Radha Snehadika Sakis and Krishna Snehadika Sakis. So they are all direct servants of Radharani or direct servants of Krishna. Then there are servants of Krishna's Sakis also. Like you will see here. Read this one.
Eligibility. One must have an intense desire to serve Lord Krishna in the conjugal mood as discussed in chapter 15. To nourish the intensely pure desire required for this type of devotion service, the advanced devotee worships Shri Radha Krishna deities and hears the Lord's conjugal pastimes. This development of conjugal love can be possible only with those who are already engaged in following the regular principles of devotion service, specifically in the worship of Radha and Krishna in the temple. Such devotees gradually develop a spontaneous love for the deity, and by hearing of the Lord's exchange of loving affairs with the gopis, they gradually become attracted to these pastimes.
Yeah, actually, if a devotee's heart has become purified, even a small pastime can have a big impact in the heart of the devotee. For example, in Ramayana, there is one pastime in the forest, in the Chitrakoot, when Ram, Lakshman, and Sita, when they were walking through the forest pathway, there was one area they had to climb a mountain. It was like a steep area, like this. So Sita went ahead, watching that. She was climbing, went ahead. And then after she went to a great height, there's a big rock on which Mother Sita sat. And she looked behind, and Lakshman also could climb, and he was just a few stones ahead below Sita. And then both of them turned around and saw Lord Ram was still walking below, coming up, slowly coming up. Like that he was breathing and coming. So seeing him, Sita laughed. Sita smiled in a very joyful way, full-blown smile, it is explained. Lord Ram actually, who is more powerful? Lord Ram is powerful or Sita is powerful? But Lord Ram exhibits such pastimes just to increase the joy of the devotees. He likes to be defeated by his devotee. He was climbing up as if he is finding difficulty in climbing, and he came. So this was when Lord Ram looked at Sita smile like a full moon blossoming with a smile. She was joking with Lakshman, telling Lakshman, "Hey, see, he's still not up. We have come here. He's still coming." So Lord Ram quoted this when he was weeping in separation from Sita. That time he remembered this. He told Lakshman that, Lakshman, do you remember, when we were all climbing up the mountain, Sita already had climbed up, and she turned to me and she smiled like innocent child, looking at me, struggling to climb up and come to the hill. So, when will I see that smile? And then he said, when I look at the moon, a full moon in the sky, that moon burns my heart. Lord Ram said, I'm not able to see my Sita's face. So in the feelings of separation, Lord Ram said this. I'm just telling you one pastime, a small pastime. So in this way, the conjugal pastimes of the Lord in the scriptures will deeply touch the heart of the devotee. So when one hears these pastimes and also serves the deities simultaneously. Yeah, yes?
Are males eligible? Yes. The sages, rishis, or Dandakaranya are evidence that this type of service attitude can also develop in males.
See, there is Sita, Mother Sita, sitting and washing the feet of Rama and feeding Rama. So when the Dandakaranya rishis saw that, they developed bhava also, similar bhava. They developed a desire that we also want to become wives of Rama and we want to serve, which was not practical at that time because Rama was Ekapatni Vrata Dari, isn't it? Yeah. So,
this development of conjugal love for Krishna is not manifested in woman only. The material body has nothing to do with spiritual loving affairs. A woman may develop an attitude for becoming a friend of Krishna, and similarly, a man may develop the feature of becoming a gopi in Vrindavan.
Prabhupada writes this in Nectar of Devotion. Here we have so many living entities sitting here in male bodies in this room now. But although they're seated in male bodies, this is like gloves only for the soul. Correct, no? Inside this gloves-like body, the soul seated could be a gopi or a gopa or whatever. Like Prabhupada says. Similarly, women need not necessarily be gopis in spiritual world. Even Draupadi is actually a sakha of Krishna. She's a friend of Krishna. She is not a gopi. She's a friend of Krishna. So, therefore, in Mahabharata, you will see Krishna calls Draupadi a sakhe. He's calling in some places, oh friend, like that Krishna calls her. So, yeah.
Two types of conjugal love, Parakiya, unwedded, perfected in the gopis of Vrindavan, to associate with the gopis and enjoy loving affairs with Krishna there. Swakiya, wedded love, perfected in the queens of Dwarka.
Yeah, in Vrindavan, gopis are all lovers of Krishna. In Dwarka, the queens are all wedded wives of Krishna. Swakiya.
5 stages of absorption, Kamanuga and Sambandhanuga. As described earlier, the spontaneous devotion of the residents of Raja is of 2 types: amorous attraction, Kamarup, and familial relationship, Sambandharup. Similarly, spontaneous practice is also 2 types. When it follows the mood of the gopis, it is called Kamanuga, and when it follows the mood of Krishna's servants, friends, or parents, it is called Sambandhanuga.
So I have shown 2 pictures. One is the gopi relationship is called Kamanuga, and then the friends, parents. See, this is a pastime where Krishna is actually sending milk right into the mouth of Balram, and Nanda Baba is sitting inside, catching his belly and laughing. You are seeing that? Huh? Seeing that, yeah. Other friends are laughing. Huh? Yeah. Here also we have that. Yeah. Yes.
Kamanuga, 2 types of gopis, Sakhis and Manjaris. Cultivation of amorous attraction is also of 2 types. The first follows in the wake of the gopis called Sakhis, who directly associate with Krishna in conjugal love. Sambhog Ichha Mai Bhakti. The second follows in the wake of the gopis called Manjaris, who do not directly associate with Krishna but who assist the gopis who do.
Yeah, correct. So the Manjaris are not directly connected to Krishna, they are connected to the Sakhis. Sakhis are elder to them. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Rupa Goswami?
Rupa Goswami calls the devotion of the Manjaris Tattad Bhava Ichhatmika. About the Manjaris, Srila Prabhupada writes, there are other devotees who do not wish direct contact with the Supreme Person, but who relish the conjugal love affairs of the Lord with the gopis. Such devotees enjoy simply by hearing of the activities of the Lord with the gopis.
Mm-hmm. So these Manjaris are Manjaris actually. Therefore, you will see that the Manjaris do little services like bringing the fruit juices, bringing the prasadam plate, bringing chandan for applying on the forehead, bringing the necklaces and jewelry, carrying things. So the Manjaris are in a plant. The Manjari is like a small yellow flower, or sometimes in a plant you find the newly grown leaves. What do you call that? Yeah, what do you call? They are very tender leaves. So Manjaris are compared to that. So Manjaris always hang around the divine couple for entering service, but they don't serve Krishna directly. They serve some Sakhi, and then Sakhi serves Krishna. Therefore, our Narottam Thakur in that song he sings, Lalita Vishakayadi Yata Sakhi Vrinda Agnaya Korivo Seva Charanaravinda. This is Manjari mood. Manjari mood means I will give the chamar or something to whom? Lalita or Vishaka, and they will serve. Like that he is singing.
Kamanuga, Rupanuga. Vaishnavas who follow Rupa Goswami are called Rupanugas. In Vraja, Rupa Goswami's Siddha form is Rupa Manjari. She is the leader of the gopis who do not have direct amorous contact with Krishna. Narottam Thakur expresses the mood of a follower of Rupa Manjari in his song Shri Rupa Manjari Pad. The special feature of these devotees is the great longing they have to engage in the service of Srimati Radharani as her maidservant. Their unshakable conviction is that the best way to serve Krishna is by making unlimited arrangements for Radha to serve him.
You understand their mood. They will make unlimited arrangements for Srimati Radharani to serve Krishna. That is their mood. They are. See, here is a song. Rupa Goswami. See, therefore
Rupa Goswami followers express their longing with his prayer.
Ha Devi Kakubhara Gad Gadayada Vacha Yache Nipatya Bhuvi Dandavat Udbhatatridihi Asya Prasadam Abudhasya Janasya Kritva Gandharvike nijagane gananam vidhehi.
O queen, distressed, falling down on the ground like a stick, stammering with words choked with emotion, I beg you, Gandharvika, please be kind to this foolish person and count him as one of your companions.
Yeah, Gandharvika is Srimati Radharani. Oh Radharani, please accept my service. That is the prayer. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
How such attraction develops.
Yeah.
As mentioned above, eligibility for spontaneous practice and amorous attraction develops naturally for those attracted to serving Krishna in this way. It also develops in devotees who strictly follow the limbs of regulative practice, especially the worship of Radha and Krishna deities, bathing, dressing, and praising the deities, hearing from authorized sources about Radha and Krishna and the gopis. These activities nourish to maturity the seed of attachment.
Yeah. So, three things are said here. One is the deity worship, done with great jubilation, done with great ecstasy. And one should hear about these pastimes from authorized sources in Guru Parampara. Yeah. And also assisting those who have such love, that one develops. Yeah. Here one new point is made in this entire slide. What is made here? Earlier already can male serve, we have already told that. But there is one misconception amongst the Apasampradaya people. They say that somebody can also have a conjugal attraction for Krishna in a male form in the spiritual world. They say, for example, the Gopas also can have a male type of attraction. See, that's mentioned in the point number. Okay, you read the whole thing. It's very important, this also.
Purely spiritual, aprakrit.
Aprakrita.
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 Yeah.
Amorous attraction is possible only between the gopis and Krishna. Thakur Bhaktivinoda explains that in Krishna's pastimes, males do not participate in conjugal relationships with the Lord. This point counters the offensive propaganda.
Even when Balaram wants to enter the conjugal lila, he becomes Anangamanjari. He becomes a gopi. He doesn't remain in the male form and say, let gopis dance with you, I will also join the dance. He doesn't do that. He becomes Anangamanjari. Yeah, yes.
This point counters the offensive propaganda made by some so-called devotees that Krishna has such loving exchanges with certain cowherd boys. It is indeed an insult to everything sacred and divine to transpose mundane homosexuality, be it sensual or just emotional, into the transcendental realm.
See, sometimes there is a between the males, there is an attraction sometimes. Actually, this attraction comes in emotional as well as physical form. Like if somebody has a very fair skin, a very fine skin, he has a little feminine look, then somebody else becomes attracted to that person and he wants to get intimate with him physically. So that is physical. And emotional means a boy becomes very possessive of another boy and he doesn't want that other boy to connect with anybody else. He says, you should be friend of whom? Only me only. You cannot, if he sees another boy smiling with him, he'll say, hey, that means why are you? Why are you? So he becomes, so this kind of homo tendencies either emotionally or physically are not present in spiritual world, like that is saying. Yeah. Yes.
The words of the Thakura speak for themselves. In Vraja, males participates in the rasas of servitorship, friendship, and the fatherhood portion of parental love.
Yes, this is the love. Like for example, some of the male gopas, they like to be a servant of Krishna, Raktak Patrakanda. Some of them are friendly with Krishna, they play with Krishna, they dance with Krishna, they sing with Krishna, they perform, they joke with Krishna, that kind of things they do. Or some of the males are fatherhood, Vatsalya. Yeah.
In these three mellows, males engage in direct service to Lord Krishna. Only females, however, serve the Lord in conjugal love and in the motherhood portion of parental love. Question: whether male sadhakas can cultivate the refined feminine devotional sentiments of the gopis? Answer: both man and woman can develop feminine feelings of love for Krishna. This is possible because spiritual sentiments are a natural function of the soul and have nothing to do with the material body. Therefore, no one should conclude that cultivating amorous attraction is only for women.
Yeah, and the sages of Dandakaranya, for example, I told you, that's quoted lastly. Yeah. So Lord fulfilled the sages' desire by blessing them with births as gopis in Vrindavan later on. They're all Rishichari gopis, yeah. the rasa dance they came.
Kamanuga, Gopi's unique Parakya Bhava. A unique feature of the Gopi's conjugal attraction for Krishna is that it is expressed out of wedlock, Parakya. Devotees who cultivate such conjugal attraction in the wake of the Gopis take birth in Goloka Vrindavan to forever relish pastimes with the cowherd prince of Vraja.
Yeah. So those who want to connect with Lord as a lover, they take birth as the daughters of the Gopis in Vrindavan and they connect. Actually, there is one 1029 9, I think. In that, there's elaborate explanation of different type of Gopis. Actually, some of the Gopis were already pure devotees. So they could join the rasa dance. And those who were not yet pure, they became apprentice under the pure Gopis. And they took training under them how to serve the divine couple. And some of them were not even eligible to become apprentice also. They were still having a tinge of lust. So they were not allowed to even go and take part in rasa dance. So they left their body meditating on the Lord. So then they would get a chance to be born in Vrindavan again and take part. Like that, there are different categories of Gopis mentioned. Yeah.
Kamanuga,
Queens of Dwaraka, Sakhiya Bhava. Yeah.
Sakhiya Bhava. The conjugal attraction of the queens of Dwarka is conventional or married. Devotees who cultivate conjugal attraction following the mood of Krishna's wives take birth in Dwarka as beloveds of the king of the Yadu dynasty. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur adds that devotees attracted to the gopis' mood but unable to relinquish attachment for Krishna's majesty and divinity become followers of Rukmini and other queens of Dwarka.
See, two things I mentioned. If they consider Krishna as divine, then immediately respect comes. Correct? No? Like the Devaki and Vasudeva saw Krishna appeared in the jail and lit up the whole jail with brilliant light. And also he showed Shankachakra, Gada, Padma and everything. Immediately reverence was awakened in them. So they both bowed down. Have you ever seen mother, father bowing down to their own child? So their majesty and divinity of Krishna. Actually, we people need to focus on this one. Majesty and divinity. Because we have no respect for the Lord. So for invoking respect, we should focus on majesty and divinity. But after advancing in spiritual life for many decades, years, then one should also learn to see the sweet aspect of the Lord where he becomes human-like. Like there is one verse, Yanmartyalila svayoga maya balam darshayata grihitam vismapanam swasya saubhagaridhe param padam bhushana bhushanangam. This verse talks about the Saubhagaridhe Lord or Mahavishnu. Even he is attracted to this two-handed human-like form of Lord Krishna, playing on the flute, standing in threefold bending form. Even Mahavishnu is Vismapanam, it says. Even he becomes Vismit, like that he says. Then Martya Lilopakam. Martya Lilopakam means, the Martya Lila means in the material world, Lord appears like one of us. And then he is performing Lila in this world. That form is attractive to even Saubhagaridhe Mahavishnu also. He says like that. So therefore, we should have that fascination. In Tamil, there's one very famous song. You won't understand the meaning. Otherwise, I can sing that. He says, but I'll tell you two lines anyway. Engirindo vandan idai jadi nan yenran engivanai nan perave enna tavam seidu vitteen kannan engirindo vandan. He's one of the pure devotees of Krishna. He's singing. Suddenly, one coward boy came into my life. Like he's like a big zamindar. He's doing many activities at home. He's very busy in family affairs and everything. Suddenly, one very beautiful blue boy comes, Engirindo Vandan. And I asked him, who are you? He said, I am a coward boy. He said, Idai Jadhanan. But ever since this fellow came into my life, I lost taste for everything else. He says, nothing of this world is charming me anymore. He has become my samadhi bhagyam, my object of meditation. So I wake up remembering him. I go to sleep remembering him. All day I remember him. I think about him, talk about him, glorify him, relish him. So in this way, he has entered into my life, entered into my heart. Now he has become inseparable aspect of my life, he says. I don't know what tapasya I did in the previous life that I could have this personality come into my life. Like that he is singing. So in this way, so that means earlier he was reverentially worshipping Vishnu, that person before. But now ever since Krishna came in his life, he has changed it. He changed his worship from reverential worship to intimate, spontaneous worship towards Krishna. Correct, no? Yeah. Yes? Prabhupada also writes?
Srila Prabhupada also writes, if someone simply desires conjugal love but does not follow in the footsteps of the gopis, he is promoted to association with the Lord at Dwarka.
See here, it's like default. Somebody actually develops attraction, but doesn't want to go through the path of becoming apprentice of the gopis, which means then they'll end up in Dwarka. They'll go to Aishwarya Bhava only. So the two ways these fellows are going to Dwarka queenship. One is you don't follow the footsteps of gopis. Like example is Lakshmi. Lakshmi is the first class example. She could not follow the footsteps of gopis, so she remained in the Aishwarya Bhava only. That is last one said. And then earlier it is said, one has attraction to the gopis mood, but one is unable to relinquish attachment to majesty and divinity of Krishna. Like Kunti Maharani is like that also. And to some degree, Devaki also. They are unable to relinquish that reverence for Lord Majesty. So then they remain in Dwaraka platform. Yeah. Two types of Sambandhanuga.
Cultivation of spontaneous practice and familial relationship also has two categories. In the first, devotees aspire for direct relationships as parents, friends, or servants. In the second, they aspire to become the servants of those serving in a direct relationship with Krishna.
For example, you may want to become servant of Yashoda or assistant Sakhi of Yashoda. Like there are elderly gopis who sit around Yashoda and Krishna, correct? To see how Krishna goes to sleep and all. So one may want to become assistant to Yashoda, or assistant to Radharani, or assistant to the Gopas. That is second. But the first one is, one may directly want to be parent of Krishna, or friend of Krishna directly, not be an assistant to the devotee. You understand, no? Yeah, yes.
Cultivating the mood of one of Krishna's parents, however, can be dangerous.
What is the dangerous, he's saying?
Because Krishna has only one set of parents, a person.
Yeah.
A person aspiring to be a father figure in Krishna's life runs the risk of developing a desire to become Nanda Maharaj himself. This is a Mayavad contamination, just as desiring to be one with Krishna is Mayavad. Such an impurity uproots the carefully grown creeper of devotion.
Yeah. I was giving lecture somewhere. I had gone for Janmashtami somewhere. Janmashtami, after the main Janmashtami, we have Janmashtami in different places, no? One place, a big crowd of devotees, 400-500 people. One Mataji was asking, Prabhu, is it possible for me to become Radharani? She was asking, can I take her position? Is it possible? I told her this point only. You should never aspire to become Radharani. You should want to assist Radharani, I told her. You should not try to become Radharani. So then she said, then why has Krishna got favorites? Radharani is favorite, Yashoda is favorite, Nanda is favorite. Those vacancies are already full. I can't occupy it. So why is it like? Then I asked her, don't you have favorites in your life? Isn't it? Like for example, how many of you have favorite dish? Some in sweet, if you ask everybody what sweet you like, everybody will say different sweets. You have favorite sweet, favorite. Some people say put more rice, some people say no rice, some people say more dal. They put little rice and lot of dal. Some people take no dal, only sabji. Yeah, when I am serving, I have experience. Correct, huh? Some people want only bakri, some want only chapati. Correct, no? They have, why can't Lord have favorites? What's wrong in that? And also, assisting Radharani or assisting Yashoda or assisting the covered boys doesn't make you insignificant. Krishna is a love emitter and a powerful reciprocator with everyone. One should not try to usurp the position of great souls. And that is also one type of envy only. That's what he is saying. Prabhupada said, one fellow wrote a letter to Prabhupada. He said, he wrote several pages. Finally wrote, you are a most insignificant servant. And Prabhupada said, see, he says he is the most insignificant servant, but he has so much problem. In so many pages he has written. How is that possible? If you really think you are really insignificant servant, the problem also should be small, insignificant. So it's because of ego, he has so much problem and he claims to be insignificant servant. And then Prabhupada told him, you are not most of anything. Prabhupada said, Krishna is actually Ani or Aniyan, Mahautama Gyan. He is smaller than the smallest. Even you cannot become smaller than the smallest also. That is also who? Krishna only. Who is bigger than the biggest? Krishna. We are all in between only. Huh? So Prabhupada said, you are not most of anything. Prabhupada told him. Yeah. Yes. Such an impurity.
Such an impurity uproots a carefully grown creeper of devotion.
Yeah. Yeah. Skanda Purana.
The Skanda Purana gives an example of spontaneous devotion practiced in the mood of familial relationship. The name for such devotional practice is Sambandhanuga Sadhana Bhakti.
See, here Nanda Baba is sitting with either side, Krishna Balram, taking prasad, Yashoda is serving. Yeah.
Once a carpenter in Hastinapur wanted Krishna as his son. Narada instructed him to adopt the mood of Nanda Maharaj and to worship a deity of Krishna. The devotee did so and achieved his desired goal. Jiva Goswami comments that the old carpenter, knowing that Nanda Maharaj was Krishna's real father, served the deity of Krishna in a mood that resembled Nanda's mood and thus avoided contaminating his devotion. The fruit of his aspiration was to become an associate of Nanda Maharaj or Nandaraj. Such an associate would, like the elders of Raja, relish loving Krishna in the parental mood.
Yeah, you understand the example, no? Yeah, actually, we should want to become assistant to the pure devotees in spiritual world. Yeah. Yeah.
Question. Devotees may wonder how the transition from regulative devotion to spontaneous devotion takes place. It takes place in one of three ways. First, in sadhana bhakti as a natural consequence of practice in previous lives.
So, if you have done sadhana bhakti a lot in the previous life, you were at the verge of entering into Raganuga. Therefore, in the next life, as soon as one is born, suddenly one feels attraction to Krishna. Prabhupada told this about one Mataji devotee, who is Yamuna Mataji. Prabhupada said she sings with great bhava. She is very advanced from the previous life. I heard Prabhupada said this about few devotees in ISKCON. In his times also, he observed that some were very advanced when they met Prabhupada. Like Prabhupada, when he saw his well as Gaur Govind Maharaj, Prabhupada was ready to give him sannyas. At that time only, the first year only of his meeting. Many Prabhupada disciples were thinking that, we have not yet observed him enough and all, but Prabhupada could observe. He could understand that from previous life he is very, very advanced like that. Yeah.
Second, in sadhana bhakti, practiced in the present life.
Yeah.
Or
that means in present life we practice sadhana bhakti and we have come to the verge of entering into Raganuga. Yeah.
Third, in bhava bhakti, after regulative practice has matured.
Yeah. So in this way one enters,
Due to sadhana bhakti practiced in previous lives. Sri Jiva Goswami gives example of the transition from regulative to spontaneous practice from one life to the next. He says that both the Vrishnis and the sadhana siddha gopis practiced regulative service in previous lives. As a result of their pure devotion, they then appeared in Krishna's pastimes, where they developed affection, sneha for him, which matured into attraction, ruchi. In this way, their regulative devotion in one life led to spontaneous devotion in the next.
Yeah. That means Vrishnis, the Yadus and Sadhana Siddha Gopis, they practiced in the previous life. Therefore, now they developed spontaneous attraction. Yes.
The transition from regulative to spontaneous practice is fascinating in that it goes through the same phases whether it takes place in one life or over many. The transition within one lifetime takes place as follows. Initially, devotees at the stage of practice are under the jurisdiction of scriptural injunction. Then, as they hear Srimad
Spiritual
Bhagavatam,
injunction and also spiritual master also. Yeah.
Then, as they hear Srimad Bhagavatam and associate with advanced devotees, an interest in spontaneous practice awakens in them. The pure at heart develops eagerness, which makes them fit to perform what Jiva Goswami calls a mixture of spontaneous and regulative service. When real taste, ruchi, arises, the influence of spontaneous attraction suppresses the regulative spirit, and the devotees are fully imbued with the mood of Raganuga Bhakti.
Yeah. So, Shraddha means what? Prabhupada uses the word Shraddha means interest. Shraddha means faith. So Prabhupada uses both the meanings. In Toronto, one of the lectures, Prabhupada says Shraddha means interest, he said. Like sometimes you see a Hare Krishna devotee on the street, you become interested. Who are these guys? They're chanting and dancing so happily. So you develop a desire to see them, meet them, take their book and take their prasadam and everything. Then in Sadhu Sangha, you associate with them and develop more Shraddha. Then they give you mala, then you start chanting, engaging in devotion service. Then all the dirty habits go away. Nanatanivriti. And then in Nishtha stage, a firm, fixed up faith comes. And then with that Nishtha, when one chants the holy name very firmly, then already the anarthas are all removed. Then one can come to the ruchi, where one chants Shuddhanam. So that's what he's saying here. In the gradual progress, the one goes, even in one life itself, one can go from Vaidhi to Raganuga stage. Yeah.
Shri Jiva writes, therefore, in some situations, it is appropriate to practice Raganuga Bhakti mixed with Vaidhi Bhakti.
Atra mishratve cha yata yogyam Raganuga yaiki krityaiva Vaidhi kartavya. Yeah.
He adds that even very advanced devotees sometimes display such mixed devotion in order to benefit and guide the general populace.
That means we follow the Vidhi Bhakti, at the same time internally we experience Raganuga practice, as we said earlier also, Siddha Deha and Sadhana Deha. With Sadhana Deha we keep on doing. Actually you have to keep watering the creeper here only. Which creeper? Devotional creeper. And the creeper will grow, it will go beyond the Brahma Jyoti, enter into Goloka, and at the feet of Krishna it will produce a Krishna Prema. So we have to keep watering it. Internally one can cultivate the Bhava, but externally one continues the Vaidhi Bhakti. Yeah.
In mixed spontaneous and regulative practice, the devotee's absorption in Krishna's pastimes is not out of attachment, but out of a desire to comply with the order of the spiritual master or the injunction of scripture.
Yeah, that means when you hear the classes, you are not ecstatic, at the same time you are not bored also. Little bit interest is there. Some curiosity is there to know more about this. There is a desire to enter. It is not attachment, it is, we can say, attraction. Little attraction may be there. And also order of the spiritual master along with little attraction. Whereas in spontaneous stage, there's attachment to hearing about the Lord. Firm attachment. Attachment means you can't give up. Yeah.
For instance, devotees may chant the 18th syllable mantra.
Actually, we should not chant this.
And meditate on Krishna captivating his companions with the sound of his flute. Such devotees may think, my spiritual master instructed me to chant this mantra. By following him, I will become a resident of Raja and serve Krishna as his companions too. This is an example of the transition from regulative to spontaneous devotion in the course of practice over one life.
This is the mantra Krishna gave by his flute to Brahma. Kama Gayatri mantra, that's the mantra. So one develops firm faith, my spiritual master has given me this, I will chant this and I will enter into Goloka by this. Actually, you need this mantra to enter Goloka. It's a very famous mantra. There is one Mata, elderly lady, who comes from Koregaon Park to our temple. So one of the days I asked, she gives donations and all regularly. So are you chanting Hare Krishna? She said, no, I have taken Diksha from another parampara. They have given this mantra for her. So she's chanting this Kama Gayatri mantra. They are also Vaishnava parampara. So in our Sampradaya also this mantra is given when you get Gayatri. Yeah.
The third way in which the transition from regulative to spontaneous devotion takes place is without cultivation. It happens at the stage of ecstatic devotion in the natural course of the development of regulative practice. The details of this process, which has already been mentioned, are described in the next chapter.
That means actually as one keeps practicing Vaidhi, suddenly one goes to Raganuga stage, and then in the Bhava stage. See, there are three, that Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti, then Prema Bhakti. So one gets quick transition from Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti directly to Bhava, like double promotion. And there one experiences also, like that he says. Now
Lord
the last part, Lord Chaitanya and spontaneous devotion. Already I read in the beginning today. Yeah. Read about that. Yeah.
No study of spontaneous devotion service is complete without a description of the role Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu plays in such service. It was he who brought the spontaneous devotion of the Vrajvasis to this world, and it is his desire that is now making it available to all. Just as one cannot enjoy an inheritance without the father's blessings, devotees cannot attain spontaneous devotion without
Beautiful
Father's mercy.
example. Beautiful examples, no? Like, Prabhupada says if you, once a millionaire boy, he fought with his father and he left the home and he was in the railway station or somewhere with tattered clothes, lying in the platform. Police were beating him. Hey, don't sleep here, get out or something. Actually, this boy, his biggest mistake he did is he cut off from his father. And the only thing right now he has to do is to go back to his father. So what one has to do, actually, once one Swami was asking in ISKCON, if such a boy, for him to become fortunate, what he should do? So then many people told, oh, he just has to go back home and then be with his father. One devotee said, another devotee said, he has to go back home and align with his father and cooperate with his father's plan for him. He said, that is more complete, isn't it? Because even if one is at home with father, but one is rebelling against father, one is not cooperating, then it won't be a happy home. Correct, no? So, therefore, we have our inheritance coming from Lord Chaitanya, but we cannot neglect Lord Chaitanya and expect to enter into Radha Krishna Leela.
Question: why is Lord Chaitanya's mercy essential for attaining spontaneous devotion service? Answer: the foremost reason is that the path to spontaneous love for Krishna, the hidden treasure of the Vedas, is difficult to tread, especially in Kali Yuga. Narottam Das Thakur sings.
Prema pichalapata gamana bhela banka. Mrigamada chandana kunkume bhela panka.
The path of love for Krishna is winding and crooked, and it is slippery, being filled with mud mixed with musk, kumkum, and sandalwood paste.
It is not very easy. Actually, there are a lot of subtleties in our philosophy. You all know, even when you read proper small books, medium books, bigger books, come to Bhagavatam, the philosophy of Krishna consciousness is a very deep philosophy. It is very vast, it is very deep, it has many subtleties, many contradictions, but for advanced devotees, there are no contradictions. Our philosophy is Achintya Bheda, Abheda Tattva. Like in the morning only I was telling in Japataka, isn't it? In the first, demigod worship is glorified. Later on, it is condemned. Tatpavati Alpamedasam, because Krishna is introducing liberation is better than demigod worship. And better than liberation is later on called as Pishachi. Pishachi iti vartate. Bhukti and Mukti both are called Pishachi, it is said. They are ghostly. Why? Because in liberation there is no seva. So therefore one may wonder, tell me one thing, you're saying this is best, this is bad, this is bad. So those people who haven't sincerely practiced devotion service for many years, they will get confused. There are, like we say, for example, some boys say, Prabhuji, that means, this spontaneous love is not for us, it's only for Sahajiyas. So we just don't do at all. Just chant Hare Krishna all life and go, finish your life. Don't study anything about Krishna dancing with gopis or anything. Is that correct? So that's a very fanatical approach. But then you say that, no, one should actually know these things. Therefore we are studying Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani. Then one may get confused. Prabhuji, tell me either Tadekam Pada Nishchitya, correct? Either this or that. Either you say, yes, you read Gopi Lila, or you say, don't read. But truth is not so simple. Truth for us, for our realization. Therefore, he says that the path of understanding bhakti, it's very, very fine. For example, is God one or many? What is the answer? Actually, you can't use the word or. God is one and he is also many. That's why Achintya Bheda, Abheda Tattva. So the word or, because God is only one, Krishna, but he becomes many. He becomes Ram, he becomes Vishnu, he becomes Matsyakurmara, Narsingh, everything, and all are called what? Personality of Godhead. Yet he is considered only one. Ekala Ishvara Krishna, Arsa Vrittya, it is said. Everybody else is servant, it is said. That's all the demigods as a servant. But he himself, that one also can expand into many. So therefore, this philosophy, and even in that, then people may say, okay, Vishnu and Krishna are same person. Now I am not confused. I can worship any one of them, isn't it? No. You have to worship only Krishna and Vrindavan. Really? Why is that so? Both are anyway God only. No, here you will worship him in Aishwarya Bhava. You should worship him in Madhurya Bhava. Correct? No? So you should actually worship Rajendranandan. So therefore, finer and finer and finer truths come out. One shouldn't, therefore, be in a haste. Like in haste, we want to complete our rounds, isn't it? It won't work like that. Therefore, he's saying in Kali Yuga, we need help of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who explained it all very, very nicely. Yeah?
Still, by remembering Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and
So
surrendering
I
to
love
him,
this picture, beautiful picture, no?
difficult things become easy.
See, Mahaprabhu is calling, hey, come here. And here is Lord Jagannath, is revealing, huh? Yeah. Yes?
Still, by remembering Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and surrendering to him, difficult things become easy.
What is that verse? Dushkaram Sukaram Bhavet. Anybody knows? Katanchana Smite Yasmin Dushkaram Sukaram Bhavet. Huh? And what is the Viparitam Syat? Second line, anybody knows? See, difficult things become very easy by remembering Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And simple things become very complicated by not remembering Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it says. There's one more verse also. Sri Chaitanya Prabhum Vande Yad Balopi Tvad Anugrahat Taret Nana Matagraha Vyaptam Siddhanta Sagaram. Very, very powerful verse. It says, a small newborn baby was put into the ocean to cross over the ocean and go to the other shores of the ocean. But in that ocean, it was infested with man-eating crocodiles and timingalas and sharks, all opening their mouth and waiting. And this child very safely went to the shores, it is said. Do you think it's really possible? But he says it's possible when the child has the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. And who is that child? Child is we all only. We are like that child. At the Siddhanta Sagaram is actually the philosophies, false philosophies, bogus philosophies, and all the crocodiles are all like whom? Mayavadis and all those Vaisheshikas and all those Kannada and all those 6 systems of philosophy, all of them. So we can cross over this vast ocean of Siddhanta Sagaram and reach Mahaprabhu's mercy. That's the point. Quickly.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement is in all ways favorable for the cultivation of spontaneous devotion. Devotees learn to fix their minds on Krishna by speaking or singing about him, preaching, distributing books, and performing Harinam Sankirtan.
Yeah. This is the beauty of Mahaprabhu's movement. You get mercy very easily by distributing books, by performing Harinam Sankirtan in the street and preaching and making devotees, speaking and singing about the Lord. Very quickly we get Krishna's mercy. Yeah.
Devotees practice the ninefold process of devotion by attending spiritual services before the deity, morning and evening in the temple or at home. By visiting holy places such as Vrindavan, Mayapur, devotees are in touch with the lands of Krishna, Gauranga, and their companions.
That is called Kevala Ananda Kanda. It's a very joyful process. Huh? Going for yatras, worshipping the dham, chanting the holy name.
Question: how is it that simply by serving Lord Chaitanya one becomes eligible for spontaneous devotional practice? Answer: first, one should remember that Lord Chaitanya is not different from Radha and Krishna. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna, nahi anya. Narottam Das Thakur says, therefore, the devotees who surrender to Lord Chaitanya are automatically counted as confidential associates of.
See, amazing,
Radha
no? It's a very easy route. Huh? You follow the path of Chaitanya, you are immediately accepted as Radha Krishna associate, immediately. Because Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna hi anya.
It is just a matter of time before their service matures and fully manifests.
Gaura prema rasarnave se tarange yeva dube se Radha Madhava antaranga grihe bhavane te take ha gauranga bole dake narottama mage tarya sanga.
Anyone who takes pleasure in sporting in the waves of the ocean of Lord Chaitanya's distributional love of God is at once a confidential devotee of Radha and Madhava. Whether he is a sannyasi or a household or a devotee who calls out to the Lord and serves the Sankirtan movement is always liberated.
Simple meaning, isn't it? Gaura prema rasarnave se tarange yeba dube se Radha Madhava antaranga griheva vanete take ha gauranga bole dake narottama mage tarya sanga.
Question: the activities of the Sankirtan movement are performed in the mood of reverential service to Lord Chaitanya. How can such a mood develop into the spontaneous spirit conducive to Brajavakti? Answer: because Lord Chaitanya is Krishna in the mood of Radha, Lord Chaitanya is pleased with those who chant and serve Krishna's name with faith and humility. Pleased, he then infuses spontaneous devotion in his servants' hearts.
So we do these services reverentially, but Lord Chaitanya infuses the spontaneity in our heart. Huh? Although devotees serve in the Krishna, one of the 5 millas, Mahaprabhu, only in the mood of servitude. However, because Gaura is not different from Radha Krishna, since service to him results in the awakening of our relationship with divine couple in any of the 5 moods. So let us see how many more slides are there. I am supposed to finish. Oh. There are a few more, but I will leave it to you. You can see later on. This you will understand it. We finished up to which one? This one?
The next one.
This one?
This one, yes.
Okay, this is 56, 57 onward. 57 to 65, you all have to see yourself. I'll just show you. Shivaji, just show it. Only darshan of the slides. Later on you can read it. So this, that's all. So you can, this PPT is actually connected to the video, correct? Now you can download and see it yourself. Shri Prabhupada ki, Bhakta Vrinda ki, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki,